Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 757. I am your host, Matrix Lloyd 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
Okay, so we're going to do something a little different for you guys today. I'm going to have a big, deep discussion about how do you consider a movie a flop, a success, a disappointment, in the middle, whatever definitions you have. We're going to go over that right now. So, and this is not going to be Ghostbusters centric, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're doing Ghostbusters videos every night." But we will have that, I'm sure. Yeah, I know. It's also getting a lot of views for me too. But anyway, we're going to start off with. I'm going to just pick the movie, and it's going to be Star Trek Beyond. Okay, Daniel will like that. I'm talking about Star Trek Beyond. Although he didn't like the movie, though.
He didn't.
Is surprising. No, he hated it, which is surprising. All right, so here we go. All right, I can't screen share, but I'll talk about it right now. I mean, you see me on the screen or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so until this thing unfreezes, basically, Star Trek Beyond has in about $169,403,624. That would be so much better if I could screen share. Actually, you know what? I have to screen share. And it's not letting me screen share. All right. So the budget for Star Trek Beyond is like $185 million. Okay. So normally, now the movie's been out, like, I guess, what, 2 weeks now already?
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
Around there, right? So, okay, here we go. Now it's letting me go back, I think. All right, so here we're going to try this one more time, gang. Get my icon to appear here. Where are you? This is why I have problems with Google. All right, here we go. You see it, Chris? Okay, here we go. Thank you. All right, so it's out about 12 days, just about 2 weeks, right? I think. And, you know, domestically, it has 113 million, you know. Foreign, it has the same thing like Ghostbusters, just about 56 million, not doing what the previous Star Trek did. Worldwide, 169. So right away, we get worried because we're like, okay, when you start going from week 1 to week 2, right, Chris, the movie usually drops off. A lot of the times it could be, you know, some cases, you know, it drops. It starts dropping. I mean,
it shouldn't drop too much.
Right.
But unless it's something unbelievably big like Star Wars or something.
See, the problem is, like, all these movies are good, but, like, each one is a bigger movie the next week and the next week. So it will drop like 50%. So that's the whole goal, is like when it first comes out, it's got to make what it has to make.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like with Star Wars, you don't expect it to drop off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's going to keep going. It's going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And usually everybody gets scared of Star Wars, so they don't really put out anything that's coming out with Star Wars, except for if you're Alvin and the Chipmunks, because they just did that anyway, and they were a success anyway. But anyway, so
of course.
Yeah. So Star Trek Beyond now, a lot of people don't understand this too, is that for some reason this year, Star Trek Ghostbusters, their release date overseas was massively delayed. I mean, we were talking about Beyond the other week, right, Chris, that it's going to be released in October and stuff.
Yeah.
September, October. I mean, that's ridiculous, like, for us to get numbers from China and everything, like, in October for a summer movie.
But I mean, I don't know if it does that normally, but I don't know. That was
it doesn't do that normally. That's the point. It did that with Deadpool, because if you remember, Deadpool was out for a while, and then all of a sudden it got like another 50 million, or you know, it's like, oh my god, because it got released months later, and it was like, oh, okay. So this is the problem that we're having this year, where these movies are not opening simultaneously at the same time, and most of Star Trek Beyond's audience overseas are going to be opening up a month, 2 months after the date. So right away, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Oh my God, Star Trek bombed. Oh my God, it didn't make back its budget. Oh my God. No. Here's the thing, okay? You have to wait for all the numbers to come in, okay? Bottom line, because if you look at the previous Star Trek movies, right? And we're going to look here, okay? We're going to go to the previous one, all right? Into Darkness overseas, 238 million, okay? Right off the bat, you know something's wrong where foreign market for Beyond is 56, 57 million, and this monster right here is 238, okay? If you want even bigger evidence, you can go back to the first Abrams one, right? And you can say, all right, 127 million even, all right? Foreign market. So we know right away that there is a reason something is wrong. It's only showing 56 million. It's not that everybody hates it. It's that it's not released everywhere. Okay, so it didn't make back its budget yet. So it's shy of the 185 million. And then we have the other factor is how much do they spend for marketing? So we really don't know if they spent $100 million for marketing. I tend to doubt it with this movie. I don't think it's like all the other movies because they did cut the budget from, I think, the previous movie too. So because the previous movie kind of bombed in a way, but they gave it a shot. You know what I'm saying? So they took a chance on it. And again, let me just take this off screen share for a second. Companies have the right to take a shot and make an executive decision that they are going to make a sequel regardless of the box office numbers. Okay, we've seen this with Star Trek V, where it was such a disaster that because they had him so many years under their label, Paramount Pictures, they said, we're going to just shell out the money for a final Star Trek movie, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, because we can't go out on a thing like that. We got to do it for the fans. So they did it for the fans. They just threw a whole bunch of money at VI, and then it blew up and did phenomenal. And then it says, all right, we're making movies again. Here we go. You know, and then they did a series of Next Generation movies, and there have you. So companies have to take a risk and say, do we go ahead or not? With the thing of Expendables, the company movie made a mistake. Something happened, and they leaked the movie. You saw that whole fiasco where everybody saw the movie 2 weeks, 3 weeks before it came out.
That was with the Expendables, yeah.
Yeah, and then they said that's not fair. Now we're not going to get a sequel. Now we're not going to. It's not that you have to do the right thing, and the movie company has yet to do the right thing. The right thing in my mind is if you're responsible for that, and all these actors and everything worked hard on it, they got all these actors to be in it. You give them another sequel. Okay, you that's it. It's your fault. You clean up the milk you spilled. You do it. Okay. Same thing. We had Batman vs. Superman. All right, it wasn't a flop, but it didn't make what it expected to make. It was a little bit profitable, a little bit. But they go ahead. They went ahead, right? Justice League, all these other movies.
That's because they were all in. It was too late to be like, no. Yeah. Like now they're like, oh, well,
Right. Now they're kind of pulling the reins back
a
little bit. They're like, how is this going to do? You know what? Hold off on Harley Quinn the movie and Joker the movie. Hold off on Justice League 2, right? Just wait. Let's see. So, and that's what the whole thing is right now. Now they're kind of holding back. Just like, they're ready to announce Spider-Man Homecoming 2 or 3, whatever, right? They're like, let's stop that announcement about we're going to do it like Harry Potter every year because we don't want to do that. Because technically, if Spider-Man was every single year, then we would have to know what's coming out next year, right? We would have to have something.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, so they kind of like, we shouldn't have said that article, okay? So the movie companies can make the executive decision, we're going ahead with the sequel. Look at the 20th Century now. 20th Century was going to go ahead with a Fantastic Four 2, regardless, because it was what I considered an ego sequel, because they could not. Your phrase was even better. That we did in the last cast was the mission of guilt, right?
Oh,
whatever
it
is, a mission of failure. They don't want to be the mission of failure, so they're going to make Fantastic Four. And Marvel, love Marvel. They're trying to negotiate something with that, with 20th Century, and all of a sudden they just paid off the Human Torch to be in their movie, so he's obviously not going to be available. So that's pretty funny, because now if they do a Fantastic Four, it has to be a reboot, because you have to, unless you're going to get a different actor. So again, with the Ghostbusters, they basically said they're doing it. Like they said, listen, it's going to happen. And you have to think of it this way. And Chris, you're a gamer here and there, right? I mean,
every now and then.
All right. I used to work for GameStop, and everybody knows that when a PlayStation came out, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Sony took a loss on the system that they know they were going to lose money for every system that was sold, but they were going to make it back on software and accessories. Correct me if I'm wrong. When it first came out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And then as months went on, they were able to make it cheaper, where they made it profitable for them to make money off the system, or the technology got older where the system was able to be profitable for them, and the costs are down. But anyway, they know they had to take a loss with the system. They had to get it in people's hands at a reasonable price, and then they'll buy the games, right? So what do you think they're doing with Ghostbusters? Ghostbusters, they need a franchise, okay? They want to build anime. They want to build... There's a thing in the movie that you see before the movie. It says Ghost Corps, okay? Because they want their own cinematic universe. They announced this already. They have plans on having multiple Ghostbusters teams. They said this years ago, okay? They're doing it. They need the whole organization called Ghost Corps in the middle of the movie, almost like Marvel, but it says Ghost Corps. So that's what they're doing. They have the sales for the toys are through the roof. The merchandise, the T-shirts. They have attractions in Times Square, the Ghostbusters ride, whatever. They have a Madame Tussauds. They are making tons of money with everything else with the female Ghostbusters, right? Now, the movie isn't doing what they wanted, okay? I admit that. And I understand that, the director had said, look, right, it's got to make $500 million. Didn't he say that? To be considered, I guess, a sequel or something like that.
Something like
now,
that.
I have a problem with that, because unless I hear it from the movie company saying it, I really don't believe it, because they're the ones that are showing out the money. Again, so this is a director, and yeah, I know he has say and everything, but I'm just going to screen share you with your Ghostbusters, and I'm going to go on to the next topic, and we're going to do another movie, because I know I'm boring everybody with the Ghostbusters, but here we go. So right now, the budget was $144 million. It made that back already. We're at $161,329,517. And again, despite all these articles of hate and all this stuff, it's making money. It's over how many days out? Let's see. It's been out already 19 days, okay? And it's still in the top 10. It's not gone. Usually flops go away. It's not a flop. You can't consider a flop. It basically almost made $2 million on Tuesday alone, okay? Wednesday's numbers is probably going to be $1 million. Thursday's numbers is probably going to be $1.5 million. And then Friday and Saturday and Sunday, it's probably going to be like $5-6 million or whatever. Okay, so it's, and that's the week of Suicide Squad. Okay, I don't think it's going to go away yet, because when it goes away, you'll see it's showing 200,000, 200,000, 200,000. It's not there yet. Okay, so, and then also look, Chris, it's the same thing like Star Trek Beyond. 51 million in foreign sales. It's not released everywhere yet. In fact, this has not changed for like 2 weeks, which has me a little concerned. Why aren't we getting the foreign numbers? So, all right. So that's enough of Ghostbusters. But again, guys, we're gonna go to, was it Jason Bourne, right? Let me go back to here. Hold on. Let's see. Star Trek. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so we're going to Jason Bourne, right?
Yeah.
You can still see the screen share, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
Jason Bourne,
it's lagging a little bit, but
okay. Jason Bourne's basically $120 million, and basically it has 122,946 813. Okay, so we don't know how much it spent in marketing costs, but it didn't make that back yet. Okay, it's already, it's only 5 days out, but look at how much money it's making every day. It made almost 7 million on Tuesday, 6
Yeah.
million. See, so this is not going away for the next 2 weeks. Easy, okay. But the foreign markets, it's the same thing. It's not released everywhere. So we would have to go to Google and type in Jason Bourne release schedule for foreign markets, and then it would show all the dates. I really don't know why they're doing that this year. But again, could you consider Jason Bourne a failure? It's in
No.
the same. No, you can't. It's in the same position as Ghostbusters, where it made back its production budget, but it didn't make back its marketing. We don't know what the marketing is, and we don't know how much money profitability it has to show. So Jason Bourne, Star Trek Beyond, and Ghostbusters are all in the same boat, unfortunately. Now, at the moment, but that changes, okay? Let's take Bad Moms. Bad example, probably, but $20 million budget, okay? It made 32 million, all right? So it made back its budget, which wasn't really a lot. I don't know how much money they spent for advertising, but I could pretty much bet they didn't make back its budget for advertising either. I'm sure this is going to be considered a success, so it's a bad example. But again, these movies, if you talk about production budget and marketing budget, they're not making anything back right away. The only success story I could probably point out now would be this movie, Lights Out, because they didn't really advertise this that much. The budget was under 5 million, and it made 67 million. So this already got greenlit for a sequel immediately. The first week was out, and it's already done. You don't even need to look at the numbers anymore. Is it still making money? Well, it's still making money. It's not off the charts yet. Again, when it starts dropping out, you'll see it say 200,000, 200,000, stuff like that. It'll go into thousands, or even go to 22,000. All right. So I hope this is. You think this is informative, Chris? I hope this is informative.
I think it is.
Secret Life of Pets is
I would
interesting.
say so.
Secret Life of Pets is an interesting take because Secret Life of Pets jumped up because Star Trek Beyond was ahead of that. It's beating Star Trek Beyond right now, unfortunately. So Secret Life of Pets, 75 million, 406 million. Boom, you're done. It already made back its budget, already made back its marketing. It already got greenlit for a sequel, 2018. We're done with that. Nerve, they won't even tell you. They don't want you to know, so forget it. 20 million, you don't even know if it's a success or a failure. I hate that. That's a cop-out when people do that. Ice Age, 105 million, guys. So maybe 100 million marketing. That's 205, and then we'll see. And then have to split the costs. Look at the 317. So could you consider that a success yet, Chris?
I mean, I would consider it a
little
huge
bit.
success in the foreign market. Honestly.
But then if you look at Ice Age, the one before it, there's a big difference, Chris. 877 million.
Right, but that's after everything's said and done, though.
Yeah. But, so we'll see. And then if we look at the third one, 886. So this is looking to be like, and you could see it was improving from that. And the first Ice Age. First Ice Age made 383. So they're going backwards a little bit. So I just wanted to point that out. Finding Dory, they don't want to tell you what the budget is, which again I don't like when they do that. But it's 832, so no matter what it is, it already did what it had to do. That's a lot of money. It's almost that's a lot. And I think that's all the examples we have. I think pretty much. Oh, Tarzan. This is a success story. Tarzan had a $180 million budget, right? It was a late bloomer because for some reason it took a while, but it made back the 312. I mean, it's kind of up in the air, but if you look at the numbers here, it's going away. See that, Chris?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing we also have to keep in mind too is that studios still want it to do well domestically, and if it underperforms domestically, that's not a good thing. No,
Right.
no matter what movie it is, whether we like it or not,
Right.
if it doesn't make its budget back domestically, they
Right.
are less likely to want to do more of them.
Yeah.
That's the
Now
way it is
this,
right now.
it is, and this right now maybe we'll get a week out of it or 2 weeks because it has to go down to the $20,000 a day or something, and then you're done.
Hmm.
But I mean, so I'd probably say this could drop off dramatically, and it could be one more week, 2 weeks tops. But again, with the marketing and everything behind it, maybe this showed a little bit of a probability. Maybe it made 20, 30, 40 million extra. I think they would go ahead now that they established a Tarzan with a sequel, but I haven't seen any confirmation on that yet. So, and I think that is all the examples I really have, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what do you think?
I think that we gotta wait and see how some of these movies do before we can say.
Yeah, before you can call it flop, guys,
Hmm.
you have to look at, because here's the thing, nobody wants to do an article putting your reputation out there that it's a flop. And then all of a sudden, what happens if one of these movies, 100 million pop out of nowhere? I mean, what happened with Terminator, Chris?
Well, yeah, I mean, it did well in the foreign market, but the problem
But that
was
was later. It was later after it was
right.
released.
But the problem was the reviews and everything. It was received so negatively that it's almost like it didn't matter what it made. People just don't want to see another one of those. They want to see a different Terminator style, and
Right.
that is factored in there too. Because if you look at the '98 Godzilla movie, that made a huge amount of money at the box office, but it was received so horribly that they're like, we can't do another one.
Right. So, I mean, we were talking a couple of times about Turtles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were telling me that it doesn't matter if Michael Bay wants to do another one, because the Transformers are making so much money that he'll probably get them to do another one, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. So, again, we're going to show this one more time. If you guys see this here, the budget was 135 million. It made 236 worldwide. Now, if you factor in marketing, we don't know what the marketing was. It could have been 100. If it was $100 million marketing, then it didn't even make a profit yet, So, but again, they may, Michael Bay may say, hey, and let's see, is it done pretty much? Yeah, it's done. See, 35,000. It's done, guys. It's not going to be around anymore. That's what I'm talking about. When you see it like that, those numbers right there, you see my icon here?
Mm-hmm.
It's done. Just you finished. It's over. It had its run and it stopped. That's it. So I think it's gonna be another Turtles anyway. And X-Men did well too, even though they didn't like it, right? Critically, they weren't crazy about it, but
It was like mixed.
yeah. So, but it's still getting a sequel. It's done. So let's wait and see what Ghostbusters does, because I just don't understand why it takes so long to get the foreign markets in. I mean, to me, 2 weeks without a dollar moving up, that's weird, don't you
Mm.
think?
They're
I don't know, we'll have
probably
to
just
look into it.
behind updating it.
But that's what I'm saying. Then you'll see a jump on Friday, and then you'll be like, oh, out of nowhere. So that movie, we won't have the definitive numbers for Ghostbusters till, I think, I said September, right? The first
Mm-hmm.
week of September, and then we'll probably be done with Ghostbusters. We'll probably have its run and it's finished. I mean, here, it probably got at least 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks left, because it's not in the thousands yet. So, all right. Actually, what I also wanted to talk about is what to look forward to in the future. And of course, Suicide Squad is what the main thing is this week. We're all going to go see it if we can. After that, the week after that is Sausage Party. I'm interested in seeing. There's Peach Dragon. After that, it's kind of just Rogue One, I guess, right? Pretty much.
Well, Doctor Strange in November as well.
Doctor Strange and Rogue One. I mean, there's a few other horror movies coming out here and there, and actually a lot of horror movies coming out to fill the void. But let's see. I just want to see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Blair Witch. No, Blair Witch is coming out. Actually, I guess that's a sequel, or is it a reboot? We don't know.
To tell you the truth, I have no clue. I'm not even interested in that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children. That might be good. The kids read the books. They like that. Let's see. Let's see. Jack Reacher. I don't know if you're interested in that. Monster Calls. Ouija. Inferno. Tom Hanks. Yeah, Doctor Strange. And
Inferno is something I want to go see.
Oh, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah, that should be good too.
Yeah. So that's what we have to look forward to, guys, and then pretty much that's it. And we'll see how all these movies do. Hopefully Suicide Squad. Please let that be good. Right?
No kidding.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, because if not, DC, man, I wouldn't want to work for DC. After that movie bombs, if it did, that's gonna be a nightmare. God, that will set back the comic book movies again. So, all right, guys. On that note, take care. Bye for now.